Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Stotz Dairy Virtual Chat. I am Brittany with the Discover Dairy program, and we are so excited to have you joining us today to meet Farmer Jen and, of course, your adorable adopted calves, Evie, Georgie, Vivian, and Scarlett. Today's chat wouldn't be possible without the generous support of the Dairy Council of Arizona and Dairy Excellence Foundation. So thank you to both of those organizations for making today possible for you all to finally get to meet Farmer Jen and your calves. First, this live chat is part of the Adopt a Cow program. And for anyone that might be new to Discover Dairy or Adopt a Cow, it is a free online resource that covers Common Core standards in math, reading, and science, all while teaching concepts about dairy. If you're interested at learning more about any of those or accessing those free resources, you can do that at discoverdairy.com. Also, we'd love for you to join the fun next year if you've enjoyed this time with Farmer Jen and your calves. We welcome you to sign up to get the notification when registration opens up. Registration will open up on May 1st, and you can sign up to get that notification at discoverdairy.com/adopt. And again, that'll just be to sign up to get a notification when registration opens up on May 1st. All right, and then next, we are excited to see that all of you are joining us live today. As you can see, that chat feature is enabled. So I'm going to go ahead and read those comments and see those questions as they come through. So please feel free to add those comments, drop those questions in. We'd love to take the time to answer them, and that way we can get you learning all about your calves and what Farmer Jen does. But real quick, before we go to Farmer Jen, I want to take a peek at who's all joining us on that live chat. So I'm going to read through here quick to see who's joining us. We've got a lot of people here. I can see scrolling up to the top, we have Mrs. Brose's kindergarten class from Glendale, Arizona. Mrs. Penner's K to second grade class in Queen Creek, sorry about that, Arizona. We also have some folks from Mrs. Miller's class who adopted Scarlett. Welcome, everybody. Let's see, we've got a homeschool co-op group. Welcome, everyone. We also have, let's see, a group from Gilbert, Arizona. Mrs. Brown's class from Prescott, Arizona. They're excited to see Evie, and we're excited to show you Evie as well. And let's see, scrolling down through a little bit more, we've got some more folks from Cave Creek, from Phoenix, Arizona, a 5th grade class from Arizona. And we are just so excited to see you all. So thank you so much. There is a lot of chatter already on that chat. So we're excited to have you all and have you join us today. So before we get started with Jen, I do just want to let you know we are struggling with a little bit of connection issues. She is out in the middle of nowhere, which is part of farming, but we have her called in, and we'll do our best to try and let you see your calves as much as possible. But bear with us as we do our best and deal with some rural internet. So without further ado, we are excited to introduce you to Farmer Jen in Buckeye, Arizona at Stotz Dairy. Hey, Farmer Jen, how are you doing today?
I am doing great, Brittany. Thank you. I'm so glad you guys were able to call in.
Awesome. We are so far seeing you a little bit, and we can hear you great. So I'm going to go ahead and let you introduce yourself, talk about your farm a little bit, and we'll get rolling. So go ahead.
Okay. My name is Jen Milliken. I am a second-generation dairy farmer. My dad started the dairy in 1981, which was 40 years ago. When he started it, we only had 500 cows and 2 employees. Over the last 40 years, we've grown it up to 4 different dairies on 2 different locations. We have around 23,000 cows, and we're up to about 160 employees. I picked the 4 of, I thought, cutest calves that were born in the time frame to put in the Adopt a Calf program. So if you look behind me, we've got Georgie over by the water trough, Vivian's laying down, Evie's the brown one standing up, and then Scarlett is the one that won't look at me. Earlier, they were all mobbing us while we were trying to do sound checks, but as Brittany said, we're about an hour west of Buckeye, out in the middle of nowhere in the desert, and the internet is a little bit sparse out here. But while we were doing it, the calves were doing what they have done ever since we picked them, in that this one right here was up trying to suck on my shirt. Georgie was wandering around wondering what's going on. and the other two were being very shy. Because just like people, cows have different kinds of personalities. They have different temperaments. They have things that they like.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I'm so happy that you guys have been able to learn about calves with me this year. I'm glad that you guys have got to see them grow up. It's important to know where your food comes from.
Yeah, absolutely. We are excited to have you, and we are seeing you and seeing the girls, which is exciting. So you talked a little bit about their personalities. Do you want to go into a little bit about, how big are they right now? What are they eating right now? A little bit about them.
Yeah, the calves right now are about 6 months old. So they are a month away from going to cow high school. After I get them back from the fair, actually, they will be transitioning into their biggest pen yet. They're going to be moving across the ditch to the cow high school area. Right now, they are eating like very good quality alfalfa and calf grain, which is mostly corn, because we're trying to get them to grow as fast as they can. When they go to cow high school, their food is definitely going to change. They're going to be put on stuff that has higher fiber content because they're going to be super hungry all the time, just like high schoolers are. They're going to be eating a lot. And if we let them eat too much, then they will start getting unhealthy. So we changed their diet. We have a dairy nutritionist that comes out twice a month to make sure that they are getting the food that they need down to the 10th of a decimal point. He takes samples of the food into the lab, and he runs analysis on it to make sure that the fiber, the calcium, the protein, all the vitamins and minerals that they need are going to be in their food. And then we mix it up for them twice a day, every day, and they get fresh food for breakfast and for dinner. And it's out there so that they can eat it whenever they want. We want to make sure they never run out of food. But
wow.
Yeah, other than that, until they become milking cows, they just spend all their time in their pen playing with their friends, hanging out, playing tag, and eating. So that's the life of a calf right now.
Oh my goodness, they play tag. That's so much fun. I'm sure that's probably is the cutest thing to watch.
Oh, they go up and they'll like headbutt each other and then run away. And then the one that got headbutted will start chasing, and then they run in circles around the pen. It's pretty cute to watch. One of my favorite times to watch is every time you move calves from a small pen into a bigger pen, they always do what I like to call cow tornado, which is they'll start running in circles around the pen because they're trying to figure out every spot in the new pen all at the same time. So they just start running in circles around and around the pen.
Oh my goodness.
So cow tornado is always really fun. And
right.
Especially if you do it when they're little, they'll stick their tails straight up in the air like little flags. And so you'll see them all running around the pen in a big circle with their tails up.
That is too adorable. It's almost like when dogs get the zoomies, when they just kind of like zoom all over the place and get this like burst of energy. Oh my gosh.
And the older cows won't do it as much. The older cows are kind of like old ladies. They'll just, shuffle into their pen and find the most comfortable spot that's closest to the door and lay down. But the calves definitely love to go zoomies.
Oh my gosh. Oh, we love it. We love it. This is so exciting. And thank you so much for sharing all of that about them. It's exciting to get to know their personalities a little bit. And I know in some of your videos that you shared with us, you've talked a little bit about, that difference between the Holstein and the Jersey. Those jerseys tend to be a lot more personable than the Holsteins are. But it's fun getting to know their personalities a little bit more.
Oh, definitely. Jerseys, which are the brown ones, are always very nosy. They always have to be right up in your business. They want to be chewing on my clothes. They like to be underfoot. While I was trying to get my Bluetooth speakers set up so that I could talk, Vivian over here was sucking on my shirt and getting in the way and looking for all the head scratches. But that's not to say that it's only jerseys, because Georgie over here too, she's a little bit more cautious about it, but she definitely wants to know what's going on. I actually, at the beginning of the program, had picked a different calf that was Georgie's next door neighbor to be the adopted calf, but she was not cooperating when it was time to take pictures. And Georgie kept coming over and being like, look how beautiful I am. Why won't you pick me? And so I finally decided to scrap it, and I picked Georgie instead because she was just being so cute. And I hadn't originally picked her because she's so white that she gets dirty really easy. But she was being so adorable that I finally said, okay, it's fine. You can be dirty and you can be cute at the same time. I mean, I have a 5-year-old, and he's always dirty, and he's still cute, so it's fine.
That's true. That is true. Well, I know everyone has really been loving Georgie. Someone actually was wondering if Georgie has a best friend. Do you know if Georgie has a best friend at all, or a cow she likes to hang out with?
Almost every cow actually will have a best friend. It's funny because the two Jerseys, Evie and I can't remember the other one's name. The two Jerseys.
Is that Vivian?
They were actually Vivian. Yes, sorry. I get them confused a little bit. My apologies.
You have a lot of cows
they were
to keep track
actually
of.
next door. Yes, we have a lot of cows. They were next door to each other in the calf barn. And I think you guys maybe saw videos of me that I sent in of the calves sucking on each other's faces after they got milk. Mm-hmm. That was their favorite thing to do. So they still like to hang out all the time together. Aww. And you'll see it a lot where cows that were next to each other when they were babies inside their individual cribs, and they will still be hanging out later when they're, years older. And you can tell because their ear tags are in sequence. So you'll have for example, Georgie is 88,174. Sometimes you'll see her more often than not with 175. So she likes to hang out with certain cows. They all have their little best friend that they like to hang out with.
Yeah.
Right now, I put them in a separate pen because, like I said, I'm taking them to the fair next week. They will be there for you guys to meet April 6th through the 9th. And I had to put them in a separate pen so we could quarantine them because just like you guys learned with COVID, we need to socially distance our cows from other cows to make sure that they don't bring any diseases to the fair. And then we'll socially distance them when they come back so that if they don't bring any diseases back from the fair. So here you see Vivian, being her own little nosy self, likes to come up and start chewing on me when I'm not paying attention. Georgie's always a little bit more hesitant. If I jumped on the other side of the fence, then she would come because she feels a little bit safer with me on the other side. Scarlett is always the one. She thinks I'm a paparazzi or something, so she's always running away. She does not want me to take her picture. And then the last one, Evie, is always hiding in the corner because she's a very shy girl. I should have named her Violet from The Incredibles because she likes to kind of hide in the corner and be behind her hair. But we are hopeful that, like Violet from The Incredibles, she will find her own eventually and become the nosy little Jersey that we know she can be.
Right. Oh my goodness. Well, we're glad we're getting to hang out with the one that's with you now at least, and that's fun. Oh my goodness. We've had some really great questions coming in already. So if you're okay with it, we'd love to try and get through some of these. And while we're doing that, we do still have video, which is really great. So if there's any way that we can kind of spotlight maybe some of the other calves, I know the one is way out in the back, so it might not work too well. But if we're able to see some of the girls a little bit while we're answering questions, that would be awesome.
So here's Georgie.
Perfect.
There is Scarlett. And then Evie is hiding in the shade. So I don't know if you guys can see her as well.
We can.
She is chewing on the fence. Oh. She is chewing on the fence, which is definitely a Jersey trait. They like to lick everything all the time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they really do. Exhibit A, the one standing right next to you. Yeah. So we had a really good question that I wanted to make sure we started with. This one's from Mendy Young, and it's for you specifically, Farmer Jen. She was wondering if you went to college or a special school to learn how to be a farmer, and if so, what were some subjects that you had to study to be the best farmer you can be?
That is a great question, Mindy. Thank you for asking. I did go to college. I actually got 2 degrees. I went to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. It's in California. It's one of the best ag schools in the Western United States. I loved it, and it was right on the beach, so I got to go surfing every day. I don't do that around here, obviously, because there's no beaches in Arizona. But I got my main degree was in dairy science, obviously. And then I found out I was really close to getting a second one. So I went ahead and double majored and got a different degree in ag business. So classes that were super helpful to get in, I guess I did a lot of science and a lot of math. Both of those are super helpful if you're trying to get into any of those agricultural degrees. Something I think I probably should have taken more of since I'm a manager now would be maybe some psychology classes to figure out how to deal with employees and problems coming with managing people. But if you just want to be working in agriculture, math and science are by far the most important. Also learning Spanish, because I'm going to say like 90% of our employees speak Spanish. And I took 4 years of Spanish in high school, and I'm still learning. I downloaded the app Duolingo on my phone on January 1st because it was my New Year's resolution to get a lot better at Spanish. So I've been practicing for half an hour every day, learning more Spanish.
I love that.
Now Vivian is chewing on Stephanie, my camera person. So she is a lot.
Oh my goodness, that's too funny. Well, good luck with your Spanish. Is there anything you could tell us in Spanish while we're live? Is there anything that you want to try out on us?
Yes. I would love to give you guys some Spanish words. So obviously, okay, the word in Spanish for cow is vaca. The word for calf is becerra. And the word for heifer, which is like a teenager, is vaquilla. So vacas producir la leche. Cows make the milk. Vacas producir la leche. And I might be saying that wrong. Stephanie is a native Spanish speaker, so she probably knows better than I am. But yeah, I don't know. If there's other words that you'd like to know that are agriculture related, I'd love to tell you.
Yeah, no, I love it. Well, thank you. That's a little bit of a
Vivian.
Taste.
Vivian es una becerra muy bonita.
Aww.
She is a very pretty calf.
She is. She really is. I love it. Well, thank you for sharing that. That's exciting. We have some other really good questions coming in. Mia would like to know where the milk goes once the cows are milked and it goes into the tank. Where does the milk go then?
Mia, that is a great question. So when all the cows go to the milk barn, all of their milk comes out through the milking machine and it goes into the big tank. And then we have 10 milk trucks a day that show up to our different dairies, and they take all of the milk into, right now, all of our milk is actually going to Fairlife. Fairlife is a new processor, that just opened up in Arizona last year. They sell milk that is lactose free. They filter out the lactose. So people that are lactose intolerant can still drink the milk. It's a great option when you drink milk. Sometimes people, when they drink milk, their tummy feels a little bit grumbly, and that might be because you're lactose intolerant. So Fairlife milk is a good answer for that. Before, our milk was going to Kroger was one of our big customers. Shamrock's another one. So one of the great things about milk is that almost all milk is local because it's really hard to transport it because it's heavy and it's bulky and you have to keep it refrigerated. So all of the milk that's produced in Arizona stays in Arizona. And even if it says like Kroger or Safeway or Fry's on the side of it, it's still going to be made from Arizona cows. We just put the label on it that the stores wanted us to put on it. So any milk that you buy in Arizona that comes in a gallon jug will be made in Arizona from Arizona cows. And it's probably less than 48 hours old. So it's always fresh. We get it processed, pasteurized, bottled, and to the store as quickly as possible so that it tastes as good as it can possibly taste.
Very cool. Thank you. We appreciate that. We've got some more questions coming in, and while we're answering some more questions, we have some more people asking if we can see the girls again while you're answering questions, if you don't mind.
Sure. We're trying not to move too much because I don't want to lose the internet signal. Right. And they're all under the shade, and I'm worried that if we go under there, we're going to lose the internet.
Yeah, we don't have to go under. Yeah.
See what happens. Yeah.
That works. Awesome. So we had a question. I think you might have said it in the beginning, but just a reminder, how many generations are at your farm, working on your farm?
My mom and dad started the dairy 40 years ago. I'm working on it now. I'm one of the managers, and my 5-year-old son is running around here somewhere trying to boop cows on the nose. So he would be the third generation, but he's only 5 right now.
Oh, we love it. Oh,
I have two other daughters also. They might actually be on the call. I'm not sure. It was kind of depending on what they had planned at school today. But I have a 7-year-old Lucy and an 11-year-old Alice that also adopted cows from the program. So they were pretty excited to adopt cows that were on the dairy. And I'm like, you guys don't need to adopt them. They're already yours. But
If you guys are on, please let us know in the chat. Say, yes, we're here. We're with whatever class. So let us know if you're on. We'd love to give you a little shout out.
They go to Palo Verde Elementary School. So if they are on, I'd love, hi, Alice. Hi, Lucy. I love you guys.
Love it. We had a good question from Ellie Lang. They're wondering, what does it feel like when a cow is milked? Is it painful, or what's that feel like for a cow?
Actually, that is a great question. Cows love to be milked. Cows cannot make milk if they're stressed out, if they're in pain, if they're not happy. They produce a hormone that shuts down the milk production. So it literally pays us to make sure that they are as happy, healthy, and comfortable as possible, because when they are, they make a hormone that helps them make more milk. We want going to the milk barn to be a rewarding experience for them. And I think that it is, because you can tell if anything ever breaks in the milk barn and we get a little bit behind, all of the cows will go by the gate that they go to get into the milk barn, and they start mooing as loud as they possibly can because they want to go into the milk barn. Also, the milk barn has air conditioning in it. It's super comfortable. That's where the cows get to take their bath. So they just really like it in there. The milking machine, that when we put it on their udder, it basically is just doing this, and it's just massaging their udder to get all the milk out. So it's not, I mean, it's very comfortable. Like I say, if you put your finger down and just go like this on it, that's kind of what it feels like. So it's not painful at all. They like it. If they didn't like it, they wouldn't go in. We would, I mean, cows weigh up to 1,500 pounds. We wouldn't be able to force them in if they didn't want to go.
Right.
But thank you. That is a really good question.
I thought that was a good one. Then we have some questions from Mr. Bowman's class. One is, how long do the calves stay with their moms before they get to move into their own room? And then another one from Jose was, why did the cows have different colors?
Why do the cows have what?
Why do they have different colors? So the question was just, why are they specifically different colors on?
Okay.
Sorry.
Yes.
So I'm sorry, I misread the question. Why do the cows have different colors on the tops of their tails? So for your grown cows, they were asking from a video.
Yes.
All right. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So the first question is, how long do calves stay with the moms? So one, I guess, sad thing about dairy cows is that they are not very good moms. Most of them, once they have the calf, they are more interested in where lunch is than what their calf is doing. So sometimes they'll lick it a little bit, but they normally wander away pretty quickly. So we usually take the calf from the mom within about an hour. And another reason for doing that is because calves are born without a fully functioning immune system. That means that when they're born, if they get any bacteria on them, it is not good. They will get super sick and they might die. So the mom might poop or pee around them. And if the calf gets that in her mouth, then she will get really sick. So normally what we try and do is we'll give the mom about an hour, if she wants it, to lick the calf off and get it clean. If she doesn't want it, we'll take it right away. And then once we take the calf, we take it immediately over to the clean part of maternity, and we give them their first vaccine that helps them protect them against any stomach problems. We give them the colostrum, which is where they start to get their immune system, and we get that from their mom. We milk their mom, and then we give them the milk that comes out of it, or out of the mom, which is the colostrum, colostrum is the first milk that the mom will make, and it's super rich. It's not really milk. It's full of antibodies and stuff that's going to help protect the calf. We dip their umbilical cord, which is where your belly button is. Cows also have a belly button. You just can't see it because it's covered in hair. But we'll dip that with a special kind of disinfectant to make sure that it is clean. Because again, if she gets a bacteria in there, it goes straight to her liver and she'll get really sick. And then once she's clean and fed and vaccinated, then we'll move her into her own barn or her own crib at the calf barn, and she'll live in there for 2 months. Everything we do, again, is because we're trying to keep these calves as healthy and safe and comfortable as possible. And then meanwhile, the mom is trying to recover. So we're giving her time to just do her thing. I mean, she just had a baby. I know I had 3 of them. I kind of wanted to be left alone for a little bit too after I had my babies. And then I mean, one difference between calves and human babies is that when a calf tries to nurse on the mom for the first time, its natural instinct is to headbutt the mom in the udder as hard as possible, which isn't pleasant. So we are trying to keep the mom from experiencing that as well, because it could lead to udder infections.
Right.
And then the second question was, what about the paint stripes on the cows? So a cow can only make milk if she's had a baby. So making sure that the cows are pregnant to have an next baby so that they can make more milk the following year is very important. So we are constantly, we have a veterinarian that comes in. We have a team of 3 people that know how to use an ultrasound machine that they can check the cows. And if they find out she's pregnant, then we put a green stripe on her back. Green means pregnant. If she's not pregnant, we put an orange stripe on her back, and orange means open, which means not pregnant. So that's a way to tell when you're looking at the cows if they're pregnant or if they are not pregnant. And we know if they're not pregnant, we need to be making sure that we're watching them enough so that when they're ready to get pregnant, we can try and get them pregnant so that they can go ahead and make more milk the next year.
Right.
But great questions, both of you guys.
Yeah, thank you, Sherilyn and Jose, for those great questions.
See, Georgie now has decided she's coming in for a snack. Scarlett is hesitantly coming up to me because I'm not chasing her with a camera right now. I'm just talking, so she thinks maybe that's okay. And then Evie is still hiding in the back because she's my shy little Violet girl.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, and now she's going to go to the bathroom.
So we have some more great questions coming in. One is, do cows have emotions like humans, or how do they, and kind of going with that, how do they show you when they're sick or communicate with you a little bit?
So I don't think cows really have emotions. They don't really, I mean, they'll get angry sometimes if you try and make them do something they don't want to do. And they're definitely like, but I don't know, they don't feel it the same as people do. But to tell a cow is sick, it can be kind of hard to tell, just because you think the way that cows evolved out in the wild, if a coyote was walking by and saw a cow that was obviously sick, it would be an easy dinner. So cows hide it really well if they're sick. One way that you can tell is that sometimes when they start getting sick, their ears will start to droop a little bit. Another way is that their eyes just don't look so shiny. But it's stuff that you have to learn when you live on a dairy or when you have cows. You kind of get to know those signs of that a cow isn't feeling good. A lot of it, if you can tell that she's breathing faster than normal, and then unfortunately, a lot of it has to do with their poop. You got to look at the poop, and if the poop looks healthy, then normally the cow's healthy. If the poop doesn't look healthy, then that means that there's a problem and you got to check her out. But just like people, we take their temperature, and if the cow has a temperature, their normal temperature is 101. If they're 101, they're good. If it's higher, then we need to start looking at what kind of medicine they're going to need.
Very good. Well, hey, you got to know how to take care of those beautiful girls. So you got to figure out how to read them a little bit, since they can't communicate with you. So those all sound like really great ideas and great ways to help them whenever they need their help. So we've got some other great questions that are coming in. A fun one. Amanda was just wondering, can cows eat chocolate?
Can cows eat? You know what? Cows will eat almost anything. I just don't know if it's good for them to eat it. I guess I did hear about a dairy that was close to a Skittle factory. And if the Skittles got messed up while they were making them, they were blending them up and feeding it to the cows. So if they can eat Skittles, they might be able to eat chocolate. I'm not sure. I've never tried it.
Yeah.
One of the cool things that we feed our cows is called bakery, which is if there's like expired donuts or bread, or let's say like the pie factory accidentally burnt a bunch of pies, they'll just put them all in a big food processor and turn it into a powder, and we'll feed that to the cows. And they love it. And if you go through it every once in a while, you'll find like a sprinkle or a gummy bear or something, which was on top of whatever it is that put it in there. So
I'm sure they love that.
Cows will eat a lot of stuff. Yes, they love it.
Oh my gosh.
Cows' favorite food is carrots. We feed the cows a lot of carrots, and it's like cow candy. They love it. And my daughter's fair heifers, when we're training them, Like, you know how when you're training a dog, you'll give it a treat if it does something good. With the fair heifers, if they do something good, we give them a piece of carrot, and they are just as happy as they've ever been.
Oh
So
my
we make sure
gosh.
that every time carrots are in season, they get a lot of carrots.
Oh, I love that. It probably makes their skin glow just like humans too, right? Makes it. I love it. Um, So we're going to wrap up with one or two more questions here. You guys are all asking really good questions. So if we didn't get a chance to get to your question, we'll do our best to try and answer them in the comments of the video once it's posted. And your teachers can go ahead and go back and check out those comments to answer your questions. But we had another question here. So I did want to just do a little shout out. We had some folks that weren't able to join us live, but they're going to be watching the replay. So Mrs. Cariano's third grade class, they were wondering, and I saw a couple other people asking this question as well, when will they produce milk? So these ladies right here that are with you, when will they produce milk? And kind of just talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys might have heard before that 1 person year is like the same as 7 dog years, or maybe vice versa. Sorry. 1 dog year is the same as 7. Where am I going with this? No. 1 dog year is the same as 7 people years.
Mm-hmm.
With cows, it's more of a 10 to 1. So when they are 2 years old, which would be about 20 if they were a person, that's when they're going to have their first baby, and that's when they're going to start making milk. And then we will milk them until they are about 50 days away from having their next baby. At that point, they go into the dry pen, which is like cow maternity leave. And they just get to do the thing where they hang out in the pen with their friends and eat and drink and grow their baby. And then once they have the baby, which we try and have it about their birthday every year, then they will go back and milk again for the next part of the year. So, and we have cows on the dairy that I think the oldest cow is in her 14th lactation, which means she's had 14 babies plus the first one she had when she was 2. So that means she's 16 years old now. So we have cows on the dairy that are about 16 years old.
Wow, that's an old cow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
And that is an old cow, which I mean the 10 to 1, that would mean she's 160. It's a curve. I mean, it goes but not all cows get to be that old. There's a few of them that do really well and they just keep chugging along.
Yeah, I love it. We had another question. So first of all, just wanted to say, Miss Webb, we had talked a little bit about how the girls spend their day. They play tag, they eat, they drink, they sleep. So they've got a pretty easy life. That was our first grade class. And we talked about when the cows get milked and when Evie would start milking. So Miss Martini from second grade class, we touched on that a little bit for you. And we have another question here. So from Mrs. Evans' class, do any of them have favorites like people do? Like, do they have like favorite colors or favorite, anything like that? Or is that something that's really only a people thing?
They don't really have, I mean, sometimes a few of the calf feeders will bond with one calf for one reason or the other. Like, I know there's a calf in the barn right now that one of the ladies has, one of the female calf feeders, or one of the women, sorry, has really bonded with, and she always goes over there and scratches its head. So every time it sees her, it starts mooing. My dad, he remembers one of his favorite cows from when he started the dairy was obsessed with carrots. Like, cows love carrots, but this cow was obsessed. And she would go down the line and she would eat all the carrots in one spot and then go to another spot and eat all the carrots and then go to another spot and eat all the carrots. And she wouldn't eat anything else. All she would eat is all the carrots. And so you have cows that'll do stuff like that. When I used to milk cows, because one of the rules on the dairy is if you want to be a manager, you have to do the job before you're able to manage the job. And so I worked almost every job on the dairy before I became a manager. But when I worked at the milk barn, I remember there was one cow that wanted to be the last cow in line at the milk barn. And she would get so mad if there was another cow that tried to be the last cow in line. And she would start headbutting it to make it go in because she was going to be the last cow in line. And I mean, you get some cows that are a little bit stubborn like that, but most cows are just happy hanging out. And as long as they have food and water, they're happy.
Right. Absolutely. We had an interesting question from, I believe it's Ayla. I apologize if I'm pronouncing this wrong, Lindsay Golding, but they're wondering how many teeth do cows have? This one they were asking specifically for Georgie, but any cow. And do you
Oh
ever
gosh.
do you
Yeah.
ever brush their teeth?
And you know what? If you would have asked me this 20 years ago, right when I was at Cal Poly, I probably would have been able to tell you how many teeth they have, and I completely have forgotten. One fun fact about cows is they do not have teeth on the top in the front. So they can't really bite you. They have teeth on the back in the top and bottom, and they have bottom teeth, but on the top they don't have any. Instead, that's like their gum is really hard right there. So they use it to kind of like bite off the plants. And then instead of really chewing the food, they'll chew it a little bit, but they just swallow it. And then when it's in their stomach, they have some microbes in there. It's a symbiotic relationship where the microbes will actually start breaking down the food. And then once it's been in their stomach long enough, the cows will actually, it's kind of gross, but they will barf their food back up, and it's called chewing their cud. So if you ever see videos of cows where they just look like they're chewing on gum, it's because they're chewing their cud. And again, that's kind of an evolutionary thing where cows would go out and they would be eating and they would just be inhaling the food as fast as possible, ripping it out of the ground. And then when they felt safe, when they knew they were back in a safe spot where there was no coyotes or wolves, they would barf it out and chew it down again so that they could get more nutrition out of it. I'm actually going to have to Google that, how many teeth a cow has. That's pretty bad that I don't know that.
That's all right.
Sorry, guys. I don't really have a great head for numbers.
You can get back. Yeah, you have, 20,000 cows to take care of, as I think they're all pretty happy and healthy. So knowing a number of teeth isn't that big of a deal.
Well, and just like you guys, cows have baby teeth that they will lose. If you keep it, they're hard to find because when they step on them, like when they fall out and they step on them, it'll break. But if you keep your eyes out, every once in a while, you'll find a little cow tooth on the ground because she's lost her tooth and is getting a big one in.
Oh, interesting. We had
But
a couple people.
unlike people, yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so a couple people were
cows?
just double checking on the time and date of the time when you're going to be at the fair. Do you mind just shouting that out again one more time and
Yes.
where and when?
I am taking the cows to the fair on Tuesday, but I think that the fair is actually open on Wednesday the 6th, and they will be there until Saturday the 9th. I'm taking them home first thing in the morning on Sunday. So I'm not sure what time I will be there because my daughter has shows she has to be at and I have to be there to help her. But they will be there and you guys can come and pet them. They'll be in a pen. The Arizona Dairy Council gave me a bunch of cow erasers and coloring books and pencils and stuff, and I will put that out. I will actually, if you guys follow Stotz Dairy on the Facebook page, I will post when I can be there, when I find out when I can be there. But at least, the very least, you guys can go visit your calves and you can go pet them and love on them if you want. And they will be there from April 6th through April 9th. And I think if you check your packet, if you go as a field trip, you can get free parking and free entry if you fill out their survey. So the calves are really looking forward to getting to know all of you guys. So I hope you guys come visit. It will be in the dairy barn, and we will have a big sign up that says, come meet your adopt-a calf. So look for where all the cows are, and then you can just wander around until you find them. I'm actually going this Saturday to scout out the dairy barn to figure out where the best place to put them is. If you check the Facebook page, I will make sure to put more specific instructions on there once I find out exactly where they're going to be.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Farmer Jen. I know we're really excited that you're offering this opportunity. It gives them a chance to go check out the fair and see their calves, which is awesome. We love it. I am going to just, oh, by the way, Julie said 32 teeth. She Googled it for you. So 32 teeth.
Oh, there you go. Thank you.
And
I will remember that now.
And I wanted to, we have so many great questions that came in, guys. Thank you so much. We will not, we see them. We want to make sure we're getting to them if we didn't already answer them. So please, in a couple days, we'll make sure to we'll make sure to come back to this video and answer the questions in the comment section of this video. So please feel free to come back and check that out. But as we wrap up here, Farmer Jen, I have one more question for you, and we'd love to know kind of what is your why? Why did you choose to be a manager on your family farm? Why did you decide to do what you do and take care of these cows every day?
So right after I went through college, I actually had decided that I did not want to come back to the dairy. I wanted to stay in California so I could keep surfing every day, which was a good decision in my 20s. But the older I got, and I worked for a bank back then, the older I got, I realized that I just really missed being on the dairy. I missed working with my family. I missed being around the cows. And I missed being in a job that I think is really important, which is making food to feed everybody. I guess the more I think about it, it's just, this is kind of what I was meant to do. I grew up around the dairy. I always joke with my kids that I mean, I speak English, obviously. I'm learning Spanish. And I always tell them that I'm trilingual because I can speak cow too. And I mean, it's kind of a joke, but at the same point, like, I know how to work with cows. It's in my blood. I've been doing it ever since I was, you know, a baby, and my mom used to take me with her to the calf barn. And I know how to do it. I love it. I love working with the cows. I love I mean, with COVID, there's the whole essential, you know, I love that my job is essential, that we are doing something that is literally part of what keeps us all alive, which is agriculture, which is making food for everybody. So there's just so many parts. I love that I get to be outside all the time. I mean, the only thing I don't love is when I get the 2 a.m. phone call that the gate broke and all the cows are running around the dairy, and I have to go put my boots on and chase them around and make sure they get back in their pen. Oh. And they go back in their pen because they know that that's home, but they're like teenagers and they like to sneak out at night sometimes. And you got to go, like, you know, go back in your pen, and then they moo and they go back. But, you know, that's something, most jobs you don't get called at 2 a.m. that you have to show up to work for half an hour. But that's part of what I love about living on the dairy, is that I'm always here to help if we need help.
Awesome. We love it.
I do live on the dairy. I live on the dairy. My kitchen table is staring straight at cows. So every night with dinner, we always drink a big glass of milk. We go through almost a gallon of milk a day in my family. And when the kids tell me thank you for making dinner, I make them stick their head outside and tell the cows thank you for the milk.
Aww.
So
that is so
it's
cute.
Kind of become one of our traditions that they'll say, Mama, thank you for dinner. And then they stick their head out the door and say, thank you for the milk, cows.
Oh, we love it. We love it. And we've got lots of people saying thank you as well on here. We love Scarlett. Just a couple of these shout outs from people. Thank you so much from Sagebrush Elementary in Aurora, Colorado. Thank you so much. We appreciate you and Scarlett. Miss Bellinger's K to second grade class. And bye, Vivian. Thanks so much, Farmer Jen. This has been awesome to get some questions answered. That's from Morgan.
Oh, you guys. Sorry to interrupt, but you guys can see they're all eating lunch now. They've gotten tired of us. They're like, yeah, you're cool, but this food is a lot better than you are.
Right. They are going about their day.
And you can see the two Jerseys are hanging out because if I'm not around, they are best friends and they like to hang out with each other. If I'm around, the one that is shy will kind of fade to the background, but if I'm not around, they are always next to each other. It's really cute.
Oh my goodness. We love it. And thank you truly, Farmer Jen. Thank you so much for sharing these beautiful girls with us. This has been a lot of fun. This chat blew up. There were so many questions. So thank you so much for everything you've done. Everyone has clearly loved their girls. And thank you for opening up your farm. It's really great to learn.
You know what? This was my first year doing it and I actually loved it. I wasn't sure and it has been a lot of fun. I got all of your guys' cards, and I know I haven't responded to all of them because I am just like crazy busy, but I read them at night before I go to bed, and I love it. So thank you so much for all of the love you guys have sent to the calves and I appreciate it.
Oh, yes. Yeah, absolutely. You remember she's got 20,000 cows to take care of. So she loves your cards. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Farmer Jen. This has been a wonderful time. And thank you to all of you for joining us today. Remember, if you enjoyed this, feel free to sign up for next year's program. Get that reminder email sent to you to start May 1 at discoverdairy.com/adopt. And we look forward to having you next year. And don't forget, you can see Farmer Jen and her 4 calves coming up next week, I believe that is in April 6th to 9th at the fair. So hopefully you guys can go and check her out and see your calves in person then. So thank you so much, Farmer Jen, and take care, everybody. Have a great day. See you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.